this video, I'm going to show you how to figure out this challenge problem, which was finding the surface area or the material that was needed for the tent that's shown here in this picture. So the problem is telling us that the center of the tent is going to be 3 feet. So that's going to be the height going from the base of the tent up to the apex of that triangle. And we have a total of 90 square feet of material. And so we're trying to figure out how long the tent is. So what we're trying to find is this length here. Looking at the front of the tent, we know that it's an equilateral triangle. We were told that this base angle here is 60 degrees. And as I mentioned, this part, the height here, is 3 feet. So thinking about what we know about equilateral triangles, we know there's that relationship between the sides and the height. And what we talked about in class, the way that we were doing this, we were saying, well, if we called this side x and we called this side 2x, then this height was x times the square root of 3. So kind of looking at this picture of this triangle we have drawn in red, we want to figure out what the base of each of those sides of the triangle is. So we're saying that x times square root of 3 is 3 feet. I'll write that. X times the square root of 3 is equal to 3 feet. I'll divide both sides by the square root of 3. So x, or half of one of the sides of the triangle, would be 3 times the square root of 3 over 3, or just the square root of 3. I got that by rationalizing the denominator, getting rid of that square root in the denominator, and then simplifying. So since the full side is 2 times x, I think we can say that one side of the triangle is going to be 2 times the square root of 3. So that's going to be the side of each of the triangles. So now let's think about if we were to take all the different sides of the tent and lay them out flat, what would they look like? Well, we know we've got 2 triangles, one being the front and then the other one being the back, right? We've got those. And then we've got 3 rectangles. 2 of them are the sides, and then 1 is the bottom. Let's convince ourselves that those 3 sides are all the same size. What I mean by that, let's look at the picture. Looking back at the picture, let me erase this here. I've got a rectangle here. There's another one over here on this side. And one of the sides of the rectangle is 2 times the square root of 3. It's the side of that triangle. And then the length of both of those rectangles is going to be the same. That's what we're actually trying to solve for. So the 2 sides will be the same size. And using that same reasoning, the bottom is actually going to be the same size. One side of the rectangle here is going to be 2 square root 3, and then the length is going to be the same. So I think we actually have, just to make this a little bit easier, we have 2 triangles that are the same size, and we have 3 rectangles that are the same size. So let's just put together what we know. Oops, erase this. I'm going to draw a better rectangle. I don't like how that is. Let's see. Okay. And then I know that the base of this triangle is 2 square root 3. That's what I found above. And the side of this is going to be 2 times the square root of 3. This is what we're trying to solve for, length. And we know the height of this is 3. So the area of two triangles is going to be 2, and then we have 1/2 base times height, right? So that 2 and the 1/2 will cancel. The base of this triangle is 2 square root 3. Let me move this over. 2 square root 3, and the height is 3. So I think the total area of the two triangles is going to be 6 times the square root of 3. All right, looking at the rectangles are going to be the area of 3 rectangles is going to be 3 times the length times the width, which is 3. We'll use L for the variable for length, and then 2 square root 3. So I think that this is going to be 6 times the square root of 3. Okay, oops, times L. So adding these two together, we're going to have only 90 square feet to use. So this is the equation that I want to solve. So I'm going to subtract 6 square root 3 from both sides first. So I have 6 times the square root of 3 times L is equal to 90 minus 6 times the square root of 3. And then I will divide both sides by 6 square root 3 to get that L by itself. For a second to plug this into the calculator. And when I plug this into the calculator, the decimal amount that I got was about 7.66. So that's the length that we could have the tent be to use a total of 90 square feet. All right, if you have questions, send me a message. I'll see you in class.